I moved into apartment 3B because it was cheap, too cheap. The landlord said the previous tenant had left suddenly. Family emergency. The walls had been freshly painted, the carpet cleaned, everything looked fine. From the first night, something felt off. The apartment didn't feel empty. I noticed it first when I unpacked my boxes. Every time I turned around, something would be different. A cup I swear I'd left on the counter would be in the sink. A chair would be slightly turned. The curtains closed when I left for work and would be open when I came home. I told myself I was just stressed. Moving always messes with your head. Then came the pictures. The apartment came with a built-in bookshelf, dusty but sturdy. When I was cleaning it, I found a small photo wedged behind a shelf, black and white, faded. A man and a woman standing in that exact living room, smiling stiffly at the camera. But something was wrong with their eyes. They weren't looking at the camera, they were looking past it, at something behind the photographer. I tossed it in a drawer and tried to forget it. 2 nights later, I woke up to the sound of footsteps inside the apartment, slow, careful, pacing between the living room and the hall. I froze. My heart hammered so loud I thought whoever it was would hear. But the footsteps stopped, right outside my bedroom door. Then, a knock. Not loud. Just 3 gentle taps. I didn't answer. I didn't move. Eventually, the sound stopped. When I opened the door in the morning, there was no one there. But on the floor, something was waiting for me. The photograph, only now. The man and woman weren't alone. A third figure stood between them. Blurry, faded, unmistakably me. I dropped it, shaking. Called the landlord. Demanded answers. He sighed. "You found the photo, huh?" He told me about the tenant before me. A woman who'd lived there for years. Said she'd started hearing things, seeing things. Told everyone the apartment remembered people who lived in it. Then one night, she vanished. No forwarding address, just gone. I wanted to move out right then, but I'd signed a lease, no refunds, so I started sleeping with the lights on. Didn't matter, because the apartment didn't need darkness to move things. Every morning, new changes. A chair turned, a drawer open, a door I'd locked, unlocked, and always, the photographs. More and more of them, stacked on the table, scattered on the counter. The same man and woman, different poses, different years. And always, me in the background, closer each time. I tried burning them once, they wouldn't catch. The flames touched them. But the photos didn't even curl. That's when I stopped sleeping. The air grew heavy. My reflection in the window started lagging a split second behind me. Sometimes, when I blinked, I'd catch it still staring after I looked away. 3 nights ago, I heard the knock again, 3 soft taps. This time I opened the door. The hallway was dark. But something was standing at the far end, just out of the light. Tall, still, watching. And in its hand, it held a camera. The flash went off. I stumbled back blind for a second. When my vision cleared, the hallway was empty. But on the floor at my feet lay a fresh photo. Same room, same walls, same shelf. Only this time, I wasn't standing in the picture. I was behind it, looking out. Since then, mirrors don't work right. When I move, my reflection stays still. When I sleep, I wake up facing the other way. Sometimes I catch my reflection smiling when I'm not. Last night, the landlord called. He said apartment 3B was listed for a new tenant. I told him I still lived here. He paused for a long time, then said, "Sir, you moved out 3 weeks ago. There's someone new in the apartment now. I can see her through the window. She's unpacking boxes, hanging pictures. One of them is mine. If you ever find a place where the rent is too cheap, don't sign, don't unpack, don't even look in the mirror, because some rooms don't forget. They just wait."
The first time I saw the house on Ashwood Lane, I thought it looked wrong, not abandoned, wrong. I was a freelance photographer, chasing stories of forgotten places, and Ashwood House had a reputation. He said it was the only house in town, never sold. Realtors gave up. Contractors refused to step inside. Kids dared each other to touch the front door, and then ran screaming back down the street. I didn't believe in curses. I believed in good lighting, empty rooms, and photos that sold to magazines. So one grey afternoon, I took my camera and went inside. The air was stale, heavy with dust, and something sweeter, like rotting fruit. Wallpaper peeled in strips, curling toward the floor. Every window had been nailed shut from the inside. I snapped a few shots. Front hall, staircase, broken chandelier that dangled like a noose. Normal, haunted house fare. Nothing I hadn't seen before. Then I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. From upstairs. Froze. Finger on the shutter. Sound wasn't random. It was precise. 3 raps, pause, 3 more. I told myself it was pipes settling wood, house exhaling. But when I climbed the staircase, knocking followed, always one floor above. By the time I reached the attic door, my chest felt tight. Knocks were louder now, frantic. My hand hovered over the doorknob. That's when I noticed the photographs. They lined the wall of the staircase, mismatched frames, families, couples, children, all smiling stiffly in front of the very same house I was standing in. Some of the pictures, decades old, others looked recent, too recent. Every single person had their eyes scratched out. I backed away, my camera clattering against my chest. My pulse sounded in my ears. I needed to get out. The air seemed thicker now, harder to breathe. I stumbled down the stairs, through the living room, toward the front door, and stopped. Because the photos weren't on the wall anymore, were on the floor, scattered, hundreds of them. My own camera lay among them, already developed, showing me standing in the hallway, hand on the doorknob, eyes scratched out. I ran. The front door slammed before I could reach it. Glass in the windows rattled. The knocking started again. The walls, the floorboards, the ceiling. Knock, knock, knock. Staggered into the kitchen, gasping, searching for another exit. The back door was chained shut, bolts driven into the wood. Knocking grew louder, faster, like 1,000 fists, hammering all around me in silence. For a heartbeat, thought it was over. The silence was worse, because in it heard something new, breathing, slow, right behind me. I turned, camera shaking in my hands, and snapped a photo. Flash lit the kitchen white. Picture printed instantly. Loaded it with a test cartridge that did that. My hands shook as I pulled it free. Photo showed the kitchen empty, except for a figure in the corner, tall, thin, bent at an angle no body should bend. Skin was grey, stretched tight over bone, and where its face should have been, there was only a smooth oval of flesh, nails driven into it like a blind mask. Print slipped from my fingers. I didn't look up, couldn't. If it was in the photo, meant it was already here with me. Breathing grew louder. Closer I ran again, stumbling through the house, tripping over furniture that hadn't been there before. Chairs blocked the hall, tables stacked against the windows. The house was rearranging itself around me, closing like a fist. To reach the staircase, the steps stretched higher, twisting, curling upward like a spine. At the top, attic door stood open, dark, waiting. Knocking started again, this time from inside my chest. I could feel it, 3 raps against my ribs, like something was trying to knock its way out. I screamed, clutching at myself, stumbling backward. Photographs rained down from the ceiling, thousands of them, covering the floor, the walls, my face. Every single one showed me. Me standing in the house, me running, me screaming, me with my eyes scratched out. Don't remember falling. Don't remember hitting the ground. When I woke, it was morning. Sunlight poured through windows that had never been nailed shut. Front door stood open. I staggered outside, gasping, touching my camera like a lifeline. Street was empty, silent, normal. When I checked my memory card, every photo I'd taken was gone, erased. In their place was a single image. House, my body hanging in the attic window, head tilted, eyes black holes. I never went back to Ashwood Lane, but sometimes at night I hear it again. Knock, knock, knock from inside my walls. When I dream, I see new photographs waiting in frames, each one showing me older, more hollow, my eyes gone. House is patient, knows I'll come back. We all do. So if you ever see a house that looks wrong, not abandoned, just wrong, don't go inside. Don't even touch the door, because some houses don't keep people, keep pictures. And if you're watching this, if you can still hear me, make sure you subscribe, because when the knocks start in your walls, at least you'll know you weren't the first.